Good afternoon. My name is Roque Santos, and I live in Agana Heights. Uh, I'm married to Norma Mendiola Santos, and our kids are all back in the mainland. My oldest son is out here with us, and there's only two of my siblings left, me and my other sister, who is 90 years old, Rita Gumatauto, and she also lives in Agana Heights. And my last nephew from my brothers or sisters passed about a week and a half ago, Domingo Santos. And that's it of the Santos clan. If you would like any more information from me, you're welcome to ask me, and if I can answer it, I'll answer it, okay? You can either do it in Maricano or Chamorro. I'll be happy to furnish that information.
Para tafandanya pabunataluan ni para tafamentos di po I istoryamu.
Okay.
Estamos aqui serviço, especialmente I po di no veterano ni Guerra Vietnam.
Yeah.
Po malada tatuna disti tutuhon no na Kristiyano siya. Mano gato na makanyaw ko.
Mafanaw yung
PT no?
PT Village.
PT Village. Okay.
PT Village.
Sa
And my sinanawan tataw si Vicente Ada Santos and Dolores San Nicolas Santos, my mom.
No, sumak manyagan to PT. No?
Yeah,
Mano
we're
gato na dumangkulo at sa mapat.
Pitya na dumangkulo, yeah.
Taimano na kumalo mo gimilita, Roque.
Taimano?
Taimano.
Actually, I tried to join the military or the Navy here in Guam, but bisang na sila kinamamalo. Okay?
Sige.
The guy that is recruiting people for, especially for the Navy, with the branch that I am affiliated with or have affiliated with. He's the Besangas that tinamamalo, the polo de mahungu, I hope I won't hurt anybody's feelings. Lo, we just tinay angin timanoy ho, ma polo gi ultimo line, okay? So my mother said, hey, family ko, the unhano, the dalalag, Chilo Mugita San Diego. So that's what I did. I went to San Diego, and that's where I joined the Navy. I enlisted in San Diego, and I was accepted in LA, Los Angeles. And that's where I joined the Navy.
Apa nasaktan no?
1954. February 1954.
Kasi Navy na Ramas.
Yeah, Navy, U.S. Navy, yeah.
No, San Diego, no?
No, San Diego, I enlisted, but I was accepted in LA.
But, how far much has to experience mo is issue? What was the biggest?
No, okay. I went to boot camp in San Diego, and when I graduated from boot camp, I wanted to get on the largest ship that the Navy had because I wanted to come back to Guam. And lucky me, instead of being sent overseas or aboard ship, they sent me to Tacoma, Washington for shore duty instead. So I spent 2 years in Tacoma, Washington, and that's not what I want, but that's what the Navy gave me. So that's where I went to Tacoma, Washington for 2 years, and that's when my Navy career starts. Yeah.
Often klassen animal mo boot camp. Di discuss boot camps at the my boot camp now and they give you physical training and all kinds of good training to prepare you low. Often gilus tumus no tito mo gi Navy.
Militar.
Militar.
Okay. Ane humalo mo militar. I wanted to be a machinist mate, you know. I wanted to be a machinist mate. And when I was assigned to machinery department, the yeoman for machinery, the machinery department needed help in the office. And I had a year experience in typing from high school. So he took me in. And I worked for him, okay? So what we do there in Tacoma is we maintain the mothball ships. You know, when you say mothball, that's the deactivated vessel that the Navy has, okay? And so in Tacoma, for me, for being from Guam, I mean, it's cold. And have you ever been aboard a ship that is decommissioned? It's not working. It's cold. It's like being in a refrigerator. So I got stuck in the office there. So I switched from machinist mate, and I became a yeoman. Special pusher, they call it, I guess, for people that don't know. But that's what I was. I became a yeoman, and that's what my job in the Navy. I became a yeoman, and I came out as a chief yeoman when I retired from the Navy.
Nee, humal mo gi Sibishu Pantusan so kasi 1954 you were 18.
Gosh, 1954. I was. I have to put my thinking cap on like Boylanda to Malilipo. So 1954, no Malmo, Navy, so figure that out.
Well, 1936 na Finanyago, right?
1935.
1935, yeah. So okay, because you were 19 years old roughly.
Yeah, 19, yeah, right, yeah. That's how old I was.
That's papasin, sige, nung pagunsagi Domingo Guahan, no?
Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah, the first. Yeah, yeah. But up till now, I really enjoyed my life. When I was finished in Tacoma, Washington, that 2 years, they assigned me to a staff duty at the time it's MATS, MATS, Military Air Transport Service. Okay, and so I was ordered to go to a staff duty in Hawaii. I already advanced to E4 at the time. I was a third-class yeoman when I was transferred to Hawaii. And so when I got to Hawaii, and this was around December time frame, I spoke to the personnel officer. I said, "Sir, I want to be home for Christmas because I haven't been home for Christmas in 2 years." And he said, Santos, you want to go to Guam for Christmas? You go to Guam for Christmas, and you're going to be in Guam as long as you want to. I said, wow, what a choice. Yeah, so I was TDY to Guam. I was up at NS again, and when we have a detachment, VR detachment here, right here in our NAS, yeah.
Naval Air Station.
Yeah, right at the time, yeah.
Dagi después no hafa mo nanti ani ma agang opero no para Vietnam tamanu tu na no klasen sucedimento sa.
Oh, actually, I volunteered to go to Vietnam. I volunteered. I was on shore duty in Groton, Connecticut, the submarine base. Yeah. But I volunteered to go to Vietnam, and they sent me to Vietnam. And I went to Vietnam for 2 years. Oh, I mean 1 year. I was in Da Nang for 1 year. Yeah.
And they hafa no sakan no moto to
19, you have
I
to,
know, I'm just,
you dispense it, nuestra, am kuit leda malilifola, 19, tanasta malifola, and I have to take on my DD-214 ni gagi gigim. Offer it a year na.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ngayon na ta bira tapti is
19.
Quantos anos eles tagisit bisyo na tempo ani?
At the time?
1954, I'm assuming nanu na idulri era in the 60s, early 60s.
Yeah, like that too, for that a year.
Okay, well, sampai tahasu lo hafa official mo gigi za danang ni matog ato.
Personnel. I'm a petrol pusher. I can't do anything else other than that.
It's quite an assignment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a yeoman. We maintain the records of all the people that are stationed there in Da Nang.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was a chief yeoman, and that's what I do. I work in personnel.
Oh, so you were in the you know
The nice thing about being there, like I don't know. I'm sure. I hope that some of the people that were there at the time, that's more really the Army, Navy, Air Force. We worked together at Da Nang. There's Air Force base there, and I forgot. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. That's the motor guy that is in charge of. They call it. It's like water plant, or where and he's in charge of it, and he's letting us use his place so we can congregate on weekends, all branches, and we barbecue, we play volleyball, we play baseball, and we spend our weekend there. And every weekend we do that. We man get together. Yeah.
You guys were the ones that were taking care of the records of all the military people that were in
the Navy.
The Navy only, the Navy branch. So that's
yeah, and also being a yeoman and at the Da Nang Air Base, I got connection with the commissary officer, who happens to be a Pinoy, Tagalog. They really like me because I can get meat whatever I can get from the mess hall, the galley, because the food service officer is a friend of mine. So, and in other words, they count on me. I'm happy to do it too, man. So we all had we kind of it. The tracks is mommy time in country, so that we always look forward to meeting on weekends. Because it's a funny way. And a lot of guys that you see when they come to Guam for R&R, we always look forward for them coming back because they always bring stuff back from Guam, something good to eat. So everybody does that, man. It's really fun. Yeah, it's really nice.
Afet mas senmakat na experience mo gati gid militaran yung stabaw gi sa Vietnam apa mas senmakat na silintang mo.
Actually, like thoughts, like boy thought nothing like. I mean, gosh, it being being there, like being together with the Guam boys, it kind of made it kind of shorten even mommy tour in being in Vietnam, and we enjoyed it, and it's really there's nothing that the unusual in the Pabir Hasraf and on Tajali. It's just
minahal
oh yeah.
Kristiyaw.
Yeah, lo diyan man dan anan weekend boy, it like I said it so it kind of shortened the mommy time I took my wife on a trip there now just to show her where I was in Vietnam, and that China beach. The beach, God, back then when I was there was nothing there, just the beach. Now it's hotel. I said, oh my God, this place changes, and I can't even tell that it's Da Nang because it's so different. It's so built up. It's but.
Da Nang let's say headquarters para todo di militar United States military services.
No guy is a Saigon into yeah, Saigon. Yeah.
Tawza na nu matulanihan mo ni from attack, like any type of enemy.
We have attacks like that. Thank God
No, but you were in the midst of Finingletera. You were in the midst.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But it's we're quite a ways off because we're right on the beach actually. Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Some of you want to be no Pisces to say and si Vietnamese magiging the one pog when they go walk up to Da Nang or the Tajala,
Pues guagini question ni ko mana andiam do ni samuruta ko mana SPM zo ngin gualu got mi zo lo eston sangana no risti.
Oh yeah, we can be boy. We look forward to meeting each other, and we always like for me to be a food service officer and a commissary officer. I can ask him for anything, and I can take it with me to our gathering, and I mean mean, I don't know if that's illegal as far as though it's for. But yun mamaya, lively ni per weekend and eat some more, just to be together and enjoy ourselves.
Of opinion mo, what's your opinion about the enemy itself? The enemy, of opinion mo pa rin enemigo you got to go manliyaw, enemigo gi urizan mizo.
Actually, Taja, Taja no, I don't know, I guess not in the area where I'm at, not like, like people like they're from Fubai, like Marines that are usually there from Fubai. I mean, we're different, but I don't have any encounter or any experience or any, I can hear the bang, 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 but it's from a distance.
What about the basic Vietnamese? Have you met some of them that
Oh
are working
yes,
within?
yeah, we have a lot of Vietnamese
The middle allies, right?
that are employed by the military.
How are those people?
They're nice. They're nice people. Yeah. As a matter of fact, there was an old man that is I'm very fond of and very good friend of mine. But and I always ask the Vietnamese that I run across here in Guam if where they're from and if they know this old man, but nobody knows. So I'm sure that the guy had passed on. So I just.
Man, it's
Ang pamfaitin ko kung ano biyaho, tao dala no biyaho. They're good people, right? They're nice.
Eston sa sana na para siya itaw-taw meso, for example, procurement people, mga fananan. Lo datatunga sa more relationships sa man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, what I do, it's records, and they needed the information that we have that they can get.
So you could like exchange.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Exchange favors.
Yeah, right, yeah. You Peter baseball.
Magas mo, afa pinan mo pari magas mo gidurante na gayowi. Magas mo.
They're okay. They're good. I mean, because I guess, you're not doing anything wrong. I mean, there's nothing that can, hurt you. I mean, they're all good. I mean, we get along.
Uli si Governor Kamatsu. Anay mabisita gato si Kamatsu gina.
Hati na Governor Matsubi.
Si Governor Carlos Kamatsu.
Hati otro.
At fanan ni nasukunan no Samoro na gobyerno giningguahan magturang ko si Jamin Sablan ni.
Yeah. No, in Dauphin, I wasn't there at that time when they were there, when they came. I left already. I left Vietnam. That was before afterwards.
Unasuna yan often on yun nung dingo Vietnam?
1970. Another way. I have to take my DD to. I have to check my DD to. Malay. I'm sorry.
Other than though, Fernando is 69 or is 70.
Fernando 70 na musumo.
Namakto si Fernando 69 namakto si or después namakto si.
Yeah, afterwards. Yeah. 70 na musumo.
Often no often na special occasion man sucede igual. Undi ju siya entertainers in the USO.
No, I didn't see them. Yeah. It came afterwards. As far as the Clay Navy career and everything, I had a fond of the Lockheed Corporation because when I left Vietnam, I came back to Moffett Field Air Station, okay? And then when I left there, I was assigned to places that is connected to in Washington,
Washington
yeah. But it had something to do with just the work that type of that I do. It's all classified, and because of my security clearance that I have, I was assigned, and then I was assigned to Lockheed.
Lockheed being a private contractor.
Yeah, right.
The military.
Yeah, it's the Lockheed that is in the Sunnyvale area, California. Yeah, and man, I don't know, like I was always lucky, man. I'm assigned to places like that, and the people that I work for or work with, they think that I'm something else, and they were telling me this, that the administrative person there at the Lockheed told his boss, he said, "Boss, we'll take this guy, he's very essential to us."
The operation.
Yeah. So you know what? When I retire from the Navy tomorrow, because I was wearing coat and tie as a military. Okay, so no, I was wearing uniform as a military, and they hired me. So today, when I retired, I was in uniform. Tomorrow, I was wearing coat and tie, working as a Lockheed employee.
So you guys, you cannot sinonsangan of the classroom to say Lockheed.
Well,
it's
classified. It's just period classified. I can say any more than that. I mean, but I myself sometimes I don't even know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, but it's Lockheed was contracted with the military.
Right.
Then you were there as some sort of like a support.
Right.
Representing the military.
Yes,
I would assume that you were working with them, and
Uh-huh.
you were so successful in what you were doing.
Oh,
They wanted
yes,
you.
man, I was so lucky. I mean, God, I was telling my wife, I said, gee, that's lucky. I don't know who's on my side, but I feel so good about it.
Your feeling about the military when you first went in, naipagmahal mo sa ni kwento sa ano sa militar giservisyo?
Total?
Yeah, total.
Okay, 21 and a half years.
21 and a half years.
Yeah.
No, wihin na tempo sininte mo po di militar ni pagmahal mo. Timatulay ka ni matui tempo po ni tiraw, no? Timatulay ka pa.
Well, Toffele boy pabe sa honesty. Isabane kalang strongly recommend for people to get affiliated with the military, or whichever, even Navy or whatever branch. Though it seems to me like the service is different now. And like I said, I used to encourage, but if it's left up to me now, unless thing changes, I discourage. No, really, to be honest. And I don't know how other people feel about it, but that's my feelings. I'm being honest about it.
Half of my collection is militar.
I don't know, like it's the way they do things, it's just different.
Reglemented.
Yeah, just different. Matulaika, you know, I mean, like I said before, I really encourage. Though the way things are in me, I don't know, like, I'm sorry, Uncle Sam, but that's my feelings. No, really. For those that are already in, hey, go for it and complete your time. And I can't say how you feel about it, but you should know by now what you think of it as a whole. But like I said, before I used to really go for the military. But somehow the military has changed. I don't know what it takes to bring it back to what it used to be, but gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Não te gostava de bulan no respeto bante.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean,
Bulan discipline no given
yeah, you know, the kalangalay, the pariwa, different. Yeah.
Basan tulay kay temple no.
Oh yes, yeah. The poll is a pretty, hopefully, I'm not like the Lamoli. Yeah. Pagkan maulikit mo na.
Hajun tau ni lini mo gui ni gatsong mo bante gi na stabo gi militar ni retirao lo ke ni kabansa ne I sebesarnya ni tagi atungo mo amigo mo whatever ni guy binat baru pada ni masa tabamzu ni taman por defendi I militar ni Estados Unidos ko guhate ni mo no amigo mo benti acquaintance ni
Actually, Taja, you know, I mean, Taja now we talk about it, we don't. I mean, you know, when we leave our work, we left our work behind, and you know, Taja.
Just enjoy that company.
Yeah, Taja.
Logo asya tini mo tau ni manhamzun mandanya I samuruta pes ading with sa mau tay hinagera. Gua tini mo
Man.
Di pinino din I igera.
Oh yeah. So si uno for so si Google yung blush. Toto piti. Tintungo lo tungo si Ken mo ang katao. Si Google yung baloko.
Oh, okay. That was in combat, no?
Yeah.
Facilmente buoni mucho delle tirawosta ni taimanu I famiglia I matratamu ko ti pareu nei I'm talking about you coming back from Vietnam and mucho Vietnam gigyon on in the tempo no so who moves to Vietnam zone resume its more naval career, if you will. Ti matulay ka I tratamento gitahog kontra I famaguon sa ni I asangwa parejo ato lumon.
No. Let's just say you quite like private life. But the book told and your first wife. To know what happened, so I just want to leave it at that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Afamon no contentuho? Were you happy that you joined the military?
Very much, and I appreciate it, and I'm so happy that I did, and I was so happy for what I've been through, and what I did, and what I gained out of it.
Lo todo yung ma-fresho, ma-accompli para hago, right?
Well, yes, and a lot of things I have to look it up for myself. But, hey.
Well, that's the drive, right?
Yeah,
They make you like that when you
know,
go out and
that's
find.
That's it, guy.
Sa gipron keketwa.
I know, yeah.
Lumalik lang. Gua siya no. Ko ihininggan mo como ciudadano americano honi. You're a U.S. citizen. Americano mumo stabo giservisyo gi para U.S. military, U.S. Navy in this particular case. Taja duda para hagun ni tumay mano mo na militar di na judo gilina lo mo na.
No,
there's no doubt about
it. Everything is okay.
Lo adjungi na tempo yung sasangan ni kalantagi mas benti megay no respeto zan no discipline kalan matulay kan didi.
Yeah. Yeah. Pero midden quando se prevede si tra papalaghi from tanay siya farmago vicino, from parentesta, where di toga rispetto.
Afamon siya no tunga na stata diskutia sti ko stata manen mo na sti no ane stone sang na those guys you used to encourage, now you're discouraging it.
Yeah.
So di tinilay ka ni Tano no I tumama ni militar ni kalan mas di discipline no di karodan istaban ni tipo di tempong gera gina tempo ni ane manistaban suno ane stabo Vietnam lo bebe faz na honesty fera ki para sapudi militar matulay ka lo isin temo para manhobin siya ni sa pofan halum gi militar pero sugon mo na linala niya their lives could be improved in such a way that they could probably not get that kind of life if they're in the civilian life, especially the expertise and as far as in boats and in ships and other things that make the military the military machine good. Lo zotuma na no San Molicans and no educational system if you take advantage of it. Lo having said that, often no senior na abiso or advice para di man hobin siya ni mahasa po van halong di militar.
Dala if lalagi tanay ni man hobin pago DBD patizi man mafana gunyagi kima finina how they are brought up, and if you can follow that and take it with you when you go into the military, you'll never go wrong. Depende di apa na klase na addiction Niya imanina and ihadi Roque Santos. Okay, that has a lot to do with ijumu future ki whatever military branch you go into. Yeah. Dokumentat TGG mafana gemu gi zamju gi gima ni maulik lik frequentus you never go wrong.
You got it made.
Yeah.
Gi espiritu ni finanogi no gi
Yeah,
sa
right.
respeto no.
That's correct.
Da kalarasan bago na tempus
I know that, yeah.
Lo, that's a subject for another day. Naroon sa
Yeah.
peta kunti sa tado na dos. Lo, afatado mas sinyon sangan put it's a more adventure in the Navy. You join the Navy to see the world and hafan mo na malago ang malum gisit bisyo hafan bumensyo. Ni pun halum gisit
Tata
bisyo.
na didikyan hobby no na. I wanted to go in the service and you know we have the Marines and we have the Army here in Guam, Nambi. I could have gone in with those two other branches, but I don't know. I kind of picked. I don't know. It's because my three brothers were in the Navy. They're retired, and your grandfather was retired.
It was the old Navy.
I know that.
Old,
Yeah. Was like si Biumu si Manet Shukes. Yeah, but you didn't know that, huh? Si Manet Kasasi.
Anyway, organisi ifinito mo para te kwentos.
And I'm happy to share with you guys.
Na maguf na istorya ko
Yeah.
di para tasangan.
Yeah.
Gua din na pinitil otisina tasangan.
I know that.
Rotaza gua.
Oh,
Sa
yeah.
tipo na
Oh,
so na
yeah.
mangagit ko ni po para
Yeah,
tatuwa.
siyempre un dia
Esperanza.
tan matubilo ko yun eh.
Como matuzo na tempo
stop.
siya.
Yeah. No, otherwise, hey, everything is good.